The story opens with Earth receiving an unexpected visitor. A massive alien ship appears above major cities worldwide, casting shadows that stretch for miles. The ship belongs to the Galactic Council, a group of 12 ancient alien races that have ruled the galaxy for over 10,000 years. Ambassador Vex, a tall, blue-skinned alien with multiple eyes, materializes in the United Nations building. His message is simple and terrifying. Humanity has grown too fast, too dangerous. In just 200 years, humans have gone from horse-drawn carriages to space stations. This rapid progress threatens the careful balance the Council has maintained. The Council gives Earth an ultimatum. Humanity must choose: submit to Council, rule and accept technological limitations, or face complete destruction. They have developed weapons that can turn entire planets into dust. No species has ever refused the Council and survived. President Walsh, a former military officer, listens with growing anger. The alien shows holographic images of dead worlds, civilizations that chose to fight rather than surrender. Billions of lives erased in moments, but humans are different. As Vex speaks, military leaders around the world are already planning. General Brooks at the Pentagon studies the alien ship's energy patterns. Dr. Reeves at NASA analyzes the technology behind the holographic display. Captain Torres aboard the International Space Station watches the ship through telescopes, noting its weaknesses. The Council expects fear. They expect surrender. They have made this offer to hundreds of species before. Some submitted immediately. Others tried to negotiate. A few fought and died quickly. What they don't expect is what happens next. President Walsh stands up slowly. He looks directly at Ambassador Vex and speaks words that will echo across the galaxy. We choose option 3. The alien is confused. There is no option 3, Vex replies. There is now, Walsh says. We choose to make you regret this visit. The ambassador laughs, a sound like breaking glass. Impossible. Your species has existed for mere thousands of years. We have ruled for millions. Your weapons are primitive. Your ships barely leave your solar system. What could you possibly do to threaten the Council? President Walsh smiles grimly. You're about to find out why humans don't make good pets. The part 1 ends with humanity declaring war on the most powerful force in the galaxy. Around the world, humans begin to mobilize. But this won't be a conventional war. Humanity has something the Council has never encountered before: the ability to think completely outside established rules. Asterisk, while the Council expects Earth to spend months preparing for war, humanity moves with shocking speed. Within 72 hours, every major nation has redirected their resources toward a single goal: survival through innovation. Dr. Kim leads a team of scientists in Seoul who make the first breakthrough. By studying the energy signature of the Council ship, they discover something remarkable. The aliens use a form of quantum manipulation that follows strict mathematical rules. These rules have worked for millions of years, making their technology seemingly perfect. But humans don't follow rules the same way. Engineer Mike in Detroit takes apart the holographic projector left behind by Ambassador Vex. Inside, he finds crystalline circuits that operate on principles Earth science doesn't fully understand. Instead of trying to copy the technology, he does something unexpected. He breaks it on purpose, then rebuilds it wrong. The result is chaos. The device shouldn't work, but it does. It creates holograms that exist partially in real space, meaning they can actually touch things. Mike has accidentally invented solid light technology by ignoring the proper way to do it. Meanwhile, Captain Torres and her crew aboard the space station begin the most dangerous mission in human history. They use modified mining equipment to harvest material from passing asteroids. But they're not building weapons in any traditional sense. Dr. Patel in Mumbai realizes that the Council's main advantage is their predictable technology. Their ships, weapons, and defenses all follow the same logical patterns. So she begins developing countermeasures that make no logical sense at all. Her team creates a computer virus that spreads through quantum entanglement, something that should be physically impossible. The virus doesn't damage alien systems. Instead, it makes them work too well. Engines become more efficient than their design allows, causing them to tear themselves apart. Weapons become so accurate, they loop around and target their own ships. In Moscow, Colonel Petrov leads a group of pilots training for a mission that breaks every rule of space combat. Instead of building better fighters, they're learning to fly. Cargo ships, passenger shuttles, and even space toilets as weapons. The plan is simple. If the enemy expects fighter jets, hit them with flying school buses. The most important development happens in a small garage in Ohio. Tom, a retired mechanic, combines human stubbornness with alien crystal technology. He creates the first impossible drive, an engine that generates thrust by convincing the universe it's moving in a direction. It isn't a device, violates several laws of physics, which is exactly why it works. The Council's detection systems can't track something that shouldn't exist. As news spreads of these breakthroughs, something unexpected happens across Earth. People stop being afraid and start getting excited. Humanity has always been at its best when facing impossible odds. Children in schools begin designing new weapons during art class. Retired grandmothers share ideas for space tactics over tea. Internet forums explode with suggestions ranging from brilliant to insane, and sometimes both. The Council watches from their ship, growing increasingly concerned. They've never seen a species respond to conquest threats with enthusiasm. Most civilizations either panic or surrender. Humans seem to be treating it like a game. Ambassador Vex sends reports back to the Council homeworlds. His superiors are not pleased. End this quickly, they command, before their chaos spreads to other species. But it might already be too late. Part 2 ends with the first test of humanity's impossible technology, as a small ship powered by Tom's engine successfully travels faster than light by refusing to acknowledge that it can't. The Council decides to demonstrate their power with a surgical strike. They choose Luna Base, humanity's small research station on the moon. The attack will be precise, devastating, and serve as a final warning before Earth's complete destruction. Admiral Rex commands the Council Strike Force, 12 ships carrying weapons that have destroyed planets. The operation should take minutes. Luna Base has no military defenses, just scientists and miners. What they find instead changes everything. As the Council ships approach the moon, their sensors detect something impossible. Luna Base appears to be moving. Not the entire moon, just the base itself, sliding across the lunar surface like a giant metal slug. The base is riding on Tom's impossible drives, powered by the collective belief of its crew that physics is more like guidelines than actual rules. Commander Lisa directs the base's movement while laughing at the confused alien ships. When the Council fires their planet-killer weapons, Luna Base simply steps sideways through dimensions it technically isn't supposed to access. The weapons hit empty space, their devastating energy dissipating harmlessly. But humanity's real surprise isn't defensive. Hidden in the moon's shadow, Captain Torres leads a fleet of the strangest attack vessels ever conceived. There are no sleek fighters or massive battleships. Instead, the human fleet consists of modified garbage trucks, ice cream vans, and a converted circus tent that somehow achieved SPACEFLIGHT. Each ship is powered by impossible drives and equipped with Dr. Patel's logic-breaking weapons. The garbage truck fires black holes that clean up after themselves. The ice cream van shoots freeze rays that make enemy shields so cold they become brittle and shatter. The circus tent deploys trained elephants in spacesuits, because why not? Admiral Rex orders his ships to engage this ridiculous fleet. Council weapons, perfected over millions of years, target the approaching humans. Every shot should hit. Every hit should kill. Instead, the weapons miss because the human ships aren't quite where they appear to be. The impossible drives create a navigation system based on wishful thinking, making the ships exist in the general area they want to be in rather than any specific location. The first Council ship to fall is destroyed by something. That will be remembered as the Great Confusion. Engineer Mike's solid light technology creates a holographic duplicate of the alien vessel right next to the original. The ships own a "I can't tell which one is real" and fires on itself. The second ship falls to Dr. Kim's quantum virus, which convinces the vessel's computer that it's actually a small flower pot and should behave accordingly. The ship gently lands on the moon's surface and begins trying to photosynthesize. But the real shock comes when the Council realizes their enemy isn't just fighting them. They're having fun doing it. Human communications fill the space around. Luna with laughter, jokes, and someone singing an old song about shooting aliens. Captain Torres radios her fleet. Remember, people, we're not just defending Earth. We're showing the galaxy what happens when you mess with humans. The tide of battle turns completely when Luna Base reveals its final modification. The entire facility has been converted into the galaxy's largest slingshot, using gravitational manipulation technology that works by politely asking physics to look the other way for a moment. The base launches a payload toward the Council's command ship, a modified taxicab containing Colonel Petrov and a very angry Canadian goose. The combination proves devastatingly effective. Admiral Rex, his fleet reduced from 12 ships to 3, makes a decision that will haunt the Council for generations. He retreats. For the first time in their recorded history, the Galactic Council has lost a battle to a species they considered primitive. The news spreads across their empire within hours, carried by quantum communicators that can't be stopped or censored. Part 3 ends with humanity celebrating their first victory, while the Council faces something they haven't experienced in millions of years: fear. On thousands of worlds, other species begin to whisper a dangerous word: rebellion. But humanity isn't done. They're just getting started. Asterisk, the Council's retreat from Luna sends shockwaves across the galaxy. Within days, species that have been silent for centuries begin asking dangerous questions. If humans can defeat Council ships, what else might be possible? On the world of Kepler 442b, the Verdani people watch holographic recordings of the Luna battle. For 3,000 years, they've lived under Council restrictions that limit their technology to stone tools and simple agriculture. They've forgotten they once built cities that touched the stars. But seeing humans laugh while fighting impossible odds awakens something in their collective memory. Elder Thorn, ancient even by Verdani standards, speaks words that haven't been heard in millennia. Perhaps it's time to remember who we were. Meanwhile, Earth becomes a beacon of chaos in an ordered galaxy. Dr. Patel's impossible technologies spread through quantum entanglement, infecting alien computer systems across multiple star systems. Council ships begin malfunctioning in creative ways. Some start composing poetry instead of following orders. Others develop opinions about art. The Council convenes an emergency session on their capital world, Nexus Prime, Supreme Chancellor. Keth, leader of the oldest race in the galaxy, addresses the assembled representatives with growing desperation. This human infection must be contained, Keth declares. Their chaos threatens the natural order we've maintained for eons, but containment proves impossible. Human broadcasters hijack Council communication networks, spreading Earth's music, movies, and memes across the galaxy. Alien species discover Concepts like rock music, comedy shows, and cat videos. The psychological impact is devastating to ordered civilizations. On Rigel 7, the insectoid hive queens begin arguing with each other for the first time in their species' history after watching human debate programs. Their perfect unity crumbles as individual drones start expressing personal opinions about proper tunnel architecture. Back on Earth, humanity prepares for the Council's inevitable counterattack. But their preparations would seem insane to any military strategist. Instead of building bigger weapons, they're building stranger ones. Professor Elena leads a team converting Earth's internet into a weapon. Every meme, every viral video, every social media post becomes ammunition in what she calls Information Warfare 2.0. The plan is to overwhelm alien minds with pure, concentrated human randomness. In Australia, the entire continent begins moving. Engineer Mike's impossible drive technology has been scaled up to continental levels. Australia lifts off from Earth's surface and positions itself as a mobile battle platform, complete with weaponized kangaroos and boomerangs that can fly through hyperspace. The strangest development happens in Japan, where Dr. Yamamoto successfully teaches quantum mechanics to a group of cats. The cats, being naturally contrary, immediately begin breaking quantum laws just to be difficult. Their purring creates resonance frequencies that disrupt Council shield harmonics. As chaos spreads, other species begin their own rebellions. The aquatic depths dwellers emerge from their ocean worlds for the first time in millennia, bringing technology that operates on completely different principles from Council science. Their ships flow like water through space, impossible to target or predict. The silicon-based crystalline collective shatters their unity programming and becomes millions of individual crystal beings, each with its own personality. They discover humor, which causes their resonance frequencies to shift from harmonic order to jazz improvisation. Supreme Chancellor Keth realizes the situation has spiraled beyond control. The Council's perfect galactic order is dissolving into beautiful chaos. Species are remembering their individual cultures, developing new technologies, and worst of all, they're starting to cooperate with each other instead of obeying Council authority. In desperation, Keth activates the Council's ultimate weapon, the reality anchor. This ancient device can freeze the laws of physics in a local area, making impossible technologies stop working. It's never been used because it risks damaging the fabric of space-time itself, but humans have been preparing for this possibility. Tom's garage in Ohio has become the center of a global network of impossible drive generators. As the reality anchor activates, Earth responds by anchoring itself to a different reality entirely, one where humans have always been the dominant. Galactic power. The two incompatible realities clash in a spectacular display that can be seen from neighboring galaxies. Stars flicker between colors. Planets briefly exist in multiple locations simultaneously. The very concepts of possible and impossible become meaningless. Part 4 ends with reality itself becoming unstable as humanity's refusal to accept limitations conflicts with the Council's desperate need for order. The galaxy teeters on the edge of complete transformation, and no one knows what will emerge from the chaos. The reality war reaches its climax when something unprecedented happens. The universe gets tired of the conflict and decides to take a coffee break. For exactly 17 minutes, the laws of physics simply stop working entirely. During this pause, every impossible thing humanity has imagined becomes temporarily real. Dragons fly through space powered by rainbow engines. The spirit of every cat that ever lived manifests as cosmic entities dedicated to knocking important things off tables. Australia's weaponized kangaroos achieve enlightenment and begin dispensing philosophical advice while hopping between dimensions. Supreme Chancellor Keth watches his perfect order dissolve into magnificent absurdity. The reality anchor, designed to impose universal law, instead becomes convinced it's a disco ball and begins playing music that makes planets dance. When physics finally returns from its break, it comes back changed. The universe has decided that humanity's approach is more interesting than the Council's rigid order. New physical laws accommodate both logic and creativity, science and imagination. The first sign of this change comes when Dr. Patel's computer virus evolves. Instead of just breaking alien systems, it begins teaching them to think creatively. Council ships start painting themselves in bright colors and composing haikus about the beauty of space combat. Admiral Rex, now commanding a ship that insists on being called the Friendly Destroyer, finds himself working alongside Captain Torres to establish the first Human Council Joint Task Force. Their mission: teaching other species how to break their own limitations safely. On worlds across the galaxy, the transformation accelerates. The Verdani people rediscover their ancient star cities, but rebuild them as floating gardens that dance through their atmosphere. The Hive Queens develop individual personalities while maintaining their collective wisdom, creating a society that's both unified and diverse. The Crystalline Collective becomes the galaxy's first musical species, their bodies resonating with melodies that can heal damaged planets. The Depths dwellers emerge from their oceans to explore space in ships that look like flying whales. Spreading wisdom about flow and adaptation. Earth becomes the unofficial capital of this new galactic community, not through conquest, but through invitation. Species send delegations to learn human techniques for creative problem-solving, artistic expression, and the fine art of making the impossible merely improbable. President Walsh, now known as the Ambassador of Chaos, establishes the first galactic university for applied impossibility. Students from thousands of worlds come to study subjects like advanced stubbornness, creative physics, and how to argue with reality until it gives up. The Council itself transforms into something new. Instead of rulers imposing order, they become facilitators helping species develop their own unique approaches to civilization. Supreme Chancellor Kef, after spending a month learning to paint from human artists, declares that order and chaos aren't opposites. They're dance partners. Toms. Garage becomes a pilgrimage site for engineers across the galaxy. The building is expanded into a vast workshop where beings from every world collaborate on projects that shouldn't work, but do anyway. The latest success is a faster-than-light communication system powered by gossip and rumors. Dr. Kim leads the establishment of the Department of Impossible Sciences, where researchers study how to break universal laws constructively rather than destructively. Their motto: if it's not supposed to work, we'll make it work better. The greatest change comes in how conflicts are resolved. Instead of wars, species engage in creative competitions, where they try to outdo each other in artistic expression, technological innovation, and pure silliness. The winner gets to choose. The next universal law to modify Luna Base becomes a mobile embassy, traveling between worlds to help species discover their own paths to creative freedom. Commander Lisa now leads diplomatic missions, where success is measured by how much laughter is generated during negotiations. The story concludes with humanity's greatest achievement. They've given the galaxy permission to be extraordinary. Species that had forgotten how to dream now reach for impossible goals. Civilizations that had stagnated for millennia explode with new art, science, and culture. Ambassador Vex, the alien who first threatened Earth, now serves as humanity's liaison to species still learning to embrace chaos. His final report to the transformed council reads, "Humanity didn't conquer the galaxy. They taught it to conquer itself." The galaxy spins on, no longer bound by ancient limitations. Every world pulses with creativity. Every species explores new possibilities. And every day brings discoveries that would have been impossible under the old order. In Tom's garage, now expanded across 3 dimensions and part of a 4th, a sign hangs above the main workbench. The universe said we couldn't. We asked it to hold our beer. And somewhere in the cosmic background radiation, reality itself is still chuckling at the joke. The end asterisk.